Hiya, welcome back or welcome. My name's Elena and this is Elena's Knits. Today I'm gonna do some knitting and some chatting. It's a very luxurious and rare day for me where everyone in my family is either working or at camp because summer has just begun here and I have the day completely to myself. I've booked an appointment to get a pedicure. I don't think I've had one since maybe this time last year or even maybe before then. Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do? I could do this, I could do that, I could do, you know, some of the things I was thinking is, go to a spa or take the ferry over to Toronto Islands and go for a swim. And then I thought, what do I really want to do? And what I wanted to do was get in some time with my knitting. I wanted to film this video so we could catch up and relax. And that's okay. I don't have time off all that often, probably often enough, but usually there's at least something I have to do, or there's somebody that I need to coordinate with or I'm responsible for. So this is a really luxurious day, and I'm just gonna bask. So I hope that you're doing well wherever you are. From the statistics in YouTube, I can see most of my viewers are in Canada or the United States, but I know I do have some folks in Europe or abroad. And I know lots of you have been having a heat wave for quite a while, that maybe your countries aren't built for that kind of heat. So yeah, a lot of the knitting YouTube channels I watch are from there. And yeah, I've seen people struggling, like, what do they want to knit? What do they want to wear? Are they knitting in their underwears or, with in the water? Or, oh boy, when will I learn? I'm trying to do some 2x2 rib. I'm starting a second sock and it just does not look right, but I can't quite figure out where I've gone wrong. So I think the best course of action, I think that I've been going the wrong way. So I'm gonna do what's called tinking. So it's called tinking because it's knit backwards. So instead of K-N-I-T, it's T-I-N-K. So you're really going one stitch at a time. And just, for me, I go in where the yarn is coming out of. And so it's like it never happened. And this actually takes me to one of the things, this week I've been just noticing more my thoughts while I'm knitting more. What's the story here? Are we okay? Yes, we're okay. So, so yesterday I was doing the same thing. Like actually literally the same thing with the same sock. It was the evening. Wait, was it yesterday? Or was it even this morning? Okay, this is what happens when you have a 5-day weekend. Anyways, I'm losing track of time, which is actually a good sign when you're on vacation, that you're really sunk into it. And it doesn't matter what day it is, but it's kind of actually quick for me to get into that state. So so I was, tinking, which is I think different from ripping back, which is where you're like, you kind of take things off the needles because you're taking out a lot of stitches. And I've done some of that this past week as well, which I'll get into later. But yeah, I was tinking and I was thinking, oh, isn't this amazing? I've made a mistake and then it's like it never happened. When in life can you do that? And then I was, thinking another thought, which is, well, mistakes are really where you learn. And in knitting, you can kind of decide, well, is this a mistake that I can live with and that makes this a charming hand knit garment or handmade garment if you're more of a sewer? Yeah, there we go. I was going back on the wrong side. All right, and then let's make sure nothing is twisted. So yeah, in knitting, don't get it twisted has a very literal meaning. Or if you're knitting in the round and you twist things, then you can start kind of knitting, is it called a Mobius loop? Where it's like a continuous band, but with a twist. Is that Mobius? I don't remember. I will look it up. Yeah, Mobius shawls were a real thing for a moment. Okay, I'm back. Lesson learned. Don't try to knit and talk during the first row of a sock. Hey, that rhymes. Don't try to knit and talk during the first row of a sock. I mean, I think that we can make that a rule, because if it rhymes, it's a thing. Then we'll have to have, an acronym. We'll have to, embroider it on stuff. Yes, you heard it here first, maybe. Yeah, I actually, while I was trying to fix my mistake, I was thinking, oh, should I just start from the beginning? And then I thought, hey, you were just talking about mistakes in knitting and thinking about what mistakes you can live with and what you have to fix. And I was thinking, that's kind of a metaphor for life. And that is a mistake. I think, I don't know if you will also think so, but I think the video will be better for me. What is the word? It means demonstrating, modeling. Yeah, living and learning from our mistakes. Yeah, but I've been thinking about that recently, or this week anyways, knitting as a metaphor for life. And there's lots of things in knitting that, well, obviously knitting is part of my life, but yeah, that have an echoing or reflection in the rest of my life. One of the things I was thinking, is to do with me and my stash, my knitting or my yarn stash. And I think it was at the Knit in Public Day event at Bronte Creek. So it was called Not Just a Knit in Public event. My goal was to not buy anything. I think that was kind of my goal at Fergus Fiberfest. Ha ha ha. Didn't succeed at either one, but I kind of knew going in that was not an achievable goal. And so, you adjust your goals, or you have your, stretch goal or your more realistic goal. So, my stretch goal would be to buy nothing. My realistic goal is to, buy one or two skeins of something. And then, in the rest of my life, I have goals. I have work goals, but let's leave them aside. I'm on vacation. ideally I would meditate every day because I really know it has such a positive effect on my health, both mental and physical, because, it affects my ability to sleep, which has a huge impact on both my mental and physical health. But I really don't think I'm ever going to meditate every day. I think, I don't think I really need to. Maybe it will change when I'm retired, but I think how I think about meditation can change too. So that, if I'm just sitting without YouTube on, or phone or TV, just sit and just focus on my breath for 5 breaths. That's enough. And I do that, at least once a day. Just come back to my breath. And then then I can just get more present and, figure out what is it that I'm really wanting to do in that moment. Anyways, so knitting, as in life, we have realistic and stretch goals. And what else was I thinking? Yeah, journaling is another thing. I would love to journal. I used to when I was, a teenager and a young adult. But I think ever since I was living with people, I don't know, I feel like I need more actual space to myself, a room of one's own kind of thing to do that. But I think it would be helpful. So this summer, actually, I was going to use my daughter as an excuse to pick up journaling again and get her journaling and explore different types of journaling. And I did watch a YouTube video, which I'll have to look up again and link below. It was called something like How to Journal Like Haruki Murakami. So that caught me. And it was saying, like, if you feel like it's too much of a barrier, like you're too worried, okay, what am I going to write? I want this to be good, or something like that. Just start writing about something factual. Like, it could be the weather, it could be what you see around you. And then as you start writing, you'll start writing about how you feel about the weather and what it makes you think about. And I was thinking, well, something that I'm doing every day is knitting. And there's a lot that I can describe that is just, visual or factual. And then it does, as I've just shown, lead me to think about things that are outside of knitting, and that are, helpful thoughts to have. What's going on now? Oh boy. I don't know if you can see. I have no idea what's happening with this needle. All right. Can this get sorted out? I'm just gonna, I don't think I can sort this out without taking my ball of yarn on a journey. There we go. Okay. And so, yes, I would love to do a journal that is like literally right here in front of me. I could write in it. But, if I want to be kind to myself, I can think, well, before I get that going, because I traditionally have liked to write. And I like the act of writing, but I also really take pleasure in my notebooks and my pens and all of that good stuff. But I could just see what I'm doing right now, talking to you, as a journal. And in thinking about, what I will say in a week, I'm doing that same thing of, noticing what I'm doing when I'm making decisions about my knitting, thinking about it, and the bigger picture of how it fits into my life, etc. Yeah. So anyways, those are some of my musings I've had this week. Yeah, so now I'll get into the usual content of what I'm knitting, what's happened this week. I'm not wearing anything knitted today. I still need to make some more things that are appropriate for the weather. I have my store sand top sitting, waiting to be washed. So that's definitely something I'd like to do today. I have an appointment at noon, so I have a couple, well, an hour and a half I probably will have. And I was thinking I'd set a timer for half an hour to do the things I should do, and then the rest of the time I will spend doing the things I want to do. Yeah, so obviously I'm knitting on this sock. I had not been working on it the week before because I had been hyper focused on my Selkie top that is a test knit for Löthgren. And what's going on here? 2x2 rib, man. So I'm knitting this. I finished one. I have said that already. And once I finish this row, I'll put it down and show you what else I have been knitting and done. Now let's make sure this is in such a way that it won't fall off the needles. Yeah, so I had been not using this because I was hyper focused, but this week and weekend that's just passed, I was out and about a lot. And so that's a great time to work on a sock on the subway, at work, in meetings, in the theater. Actually, as an aside, this week I'm gonna upload this video on a Monday instead of a Sunday as usual because my weekend was full of good times. My sister was visiting with my niece and my brother-in-law. But yeah, they were in town because we all had tickets to see The Outsiders, the musical. So that was amazing. Had some great meals out. Did some stationery shopping, which is something I really enjoy, and yeah, had a blast. So I prioritize that over making a video. I'm sure you understand. And yeah, so yeah, my sock came with me. The other thing I have been knitting this week is my Selkie top. And it does not look like anything has happened since last week, but a lot has. Yeah, so I had gotten it to the point where I did the bust darts. So yeah, you're looking at the back right now. This is the front. And the armholes end here. And then you knit until where on your body you've reached where the widest point of your bust, if you have one, is. And then if you choose, you can do the bust darts, or you just move on. So I had knit, I had done the bust darts, and I had done about 3 or 4 more inches. And then I was thinking, with the neck, what is it called? Lining facing the band that you knit around the neck and the sleeves, I bet it will change how things sit. So where my bust darts are might not be the right spot. And I was already thinking, I might have, yeah, it was really banking on it sitting exactly as it was. And I was thinking, this is my first time doing bust darts. This is my first test knit in ages and ages. We have time. There's a generous timeline for this. I'm just gonna rip it back and do the linings first. Somebody else in the chat for the test knit said that they had done that. And yeah, I thought, yes, it's sad to undo days of work on this, but ultimately it will be, if I want it to be something I enjoy wearing, it's necessary to go back and do it again. So that was not a mistake I could live with. Not that it was like strictly a mistake, but I think an improvement that needed to be made, a problem that needed to be solved. And so I did that, and now I'm doing the neck lining. I followed the instructions to pick up, well, I won't say what the ratio is. Lotta gave a number for the front to pick up and then a ratio for the rest of it, or like the front edges. So the slope of the front neck where it comes down here, there was just a number. And yeah, anyways, I'm not going to be able to explain this very well. But I did do it slightly different. I'll try to explain it better in my Ravelry notes when I'm done. So I'm a little worried about how this is going to sit, and it didn't, if you're going to do the one version of it, which has a kind of lace rib, well, not a kind of, a lace rib design, it was supposed to be in multiples of 8 stitches that you picked up, and no, that's too much of a repeat to get right for me. So I think, yeah, but I figured if there's stitches up here and the lace rib is slightly off, nobody will notice. That is one of those things, like it's a mistake that makes it a charming handmade garment, in my opinion. If I was doing, a sample knit where it was going to go on in a trunk show or something like that, you would want it to be perfect. But no, for me, this is a-okay. But we'll see how it is when it's done. So yeah, I'm doing the neck facing right now, and then I'll do the arms, and then I will put it on and see where I need to go before the bust starts happen. Yeah, so it looks like nothing has happened, but a lot of thinking and a lot of coming to peace, and then just ripping back and re-knitting has happened. So I did knit, what is this, probably about an inch, and then I came to the end of a ball of yarn, and then I went and started the neck. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. Yeah, I do like knitting with this giant ball that I've created after ripping back, much more than with 2 separate balls, but oh well, that is life. So yeah, that's what I've been knitting on this week and thinking about. Yeah, so now I'm gonna start my half an hour of chores and things I should do, and then enjoy all the things I want to do after that. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you have a great week, and I'll see you next week. I think I will have a video up next Sunday, barring, chances at extreme fun. But after that, I might have a week off because I'm going to be traveling. And so I'll probably, skip a week and then be back with you later in July. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate spending this time with you. If you feel like it, like this video, and I'd love it if you subscribed so that you could spend some more time with me. But mostly just have fun, stay safe, and enjoy your knitting or crafting or whatever you like to do. All right, bye for now.